Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in as always. Now, in order to get this weekly content, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down there right in the corner. And if you do want to book a clairvoyant psychic reading with me, soulworkwithjeni.com. All of the details will be in the description box below where you can find me and so on. Now, we are going to be talking about what's coming up during this week, energetically wise, from July 4th to the 11th. Can you believe we're in July? Like this is crazy, right? We have this full moon in Capricorn. Like this picture back here, by the way, I took this when I was away on assignment. Um, it was over the mountain, below the water here with that full moon from June. It was such an amazing. You can check out my photography on Jeni G Photography on Instagram. I'm all over the place, by the way. So I just wanted to put this one up because we have this beautiful full moon coming. Not only that, we are moving closer to Mercury retrograde. So we are also in the pre-shadows of the retrograde right now. And we have a powerful day on July the 7th. So I'm going to talk about more details about this. Like July 4th. Happy Independence Day. Happy July 4th to all my friends and family in the USA. It's just amazing how time is just literally like speeding up here, right? So this is a time right now, like July. I just want to say this, and I'll probably say this in all of my videos this month. July, you have to take a lot more precautions. There can be a lot of travel issues this month, right? Not only just because of Mercury retrograde, which can cause delays and travel disruptions. This is kind of like a dangerous month this month to travel. I don't want to freak you guys out at all, but I'm just kind of putting things on the table here with what very well could happen, right? So just use extra caution. So if your intuition is saying, I don't know if I want to book that flight, or I don't know if I want to book that cruise, or like just certain things like that, just kind of listen and listen to that, right? Just really kind of pay attention because we're kind of getting these pre-signs right now. By the way, here in Canada, that I haven't read into it, but I heard something, there's like a threat of a bomb on the plane already. Like, really? So I'm just saying, just be a little extra cautious and around the water, right? I've been talking about the water for, I don't know how long now, quite some time. There's going to be a lot more water accidents this month. The water is contaminated, like it really is. There's so much crap in the water that these so-called leaders are disrupting and so on without going into lots of details. Why do you think certain animals get washed up to shore? If you look back on it, shark attacks they're getting tired of people and what's going on and polluting their water. So they're taking it out on us, right? You know, So I'm not going to go into lots of details with that. That would be a whole different video altogether. And especially, please be careful when you're in the water swimming and so on. Watch your children. I wouldn't recommend going swimming alone. Like if you're with a group of people swimming and stuff, at least there's people around you. That's okay. But just please use extra caution. Even where I was actually, I was in a beautiful lake, beautiful, but I just kind of felt contamination. And then, sure enough, I heard when I was out there, there was like people going in the water and they were breaking out in hives and stuff. And I'm like, wow. I mean, it didn't surprise me. It's just really disturbing, like really, really disturbing. It just really shows you what our so-called leaders are trying to do to our planet. So anyways, this month here in July, we have a few different planets that are going retrograde, and it is going to cause you to really reflect back on past situations, like certain memories that have been sneaking up for you, and don't run from it. It's normally painful situations, that we still have to work through and go through certain fears and wounds. And this is a time not to rush anything. Don't rush anything during these retrogrades. If you have plans and stuff, great. Like I have something I'm going to be doing that I'll share with you. It very well might happen actually on the Power Day, July 7th, by the way. And I didn't realize that actually until I kind of just looked, but I will share that later when it happens, if it's that day. I'll know today. So you're going to be finding that you're going to want to be taking more responsibility this month as well, for certain decisions that you're making, choices that you're making, and so on. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be like a huge transportational or a huge transformational month for you too. I mean, we can transform at any time, but we can transform either way. So when you are making decisions, pay attention to what you're getting into and so on and so on. Like even yesterday, I was just driving to one of my appointments and I'm like, oh my God, I was watching this movie earlier and the name of something that I'm looking at, it came up and I'm like, that's like the name I'm looking at right now for something. That's not the average ordinary name. The area that I'm going into, the town, the place, it was also shown on a sign. And then a movie, the name, and I'm like, oh my, like, wow, right? So there's a lot happening right now. It's really to expect the unexpected. You're going to find that your ears could be ringing a little bit. You could have a little bit of, muscle soreness in your shoulders and your back as well. We still have the solar flares and all of that. So really drink a lot more water. You're going to be dehydrated even more and more. So your sleep is going to be on and off as well. Like we have that full moon coming up here, which I'll talk about, but your sleep has been on and off as well. Due to a lot of different energies, and really pay attention to what you're dreaming about. Like even last night I had a dream and I'm like, oh my God, like, oh my God. I woke up and I knew exactly what I was being shown. I knew. Like your manifestations are really, really high right now. Like basically my dream was showing me what I was manifesting and, all of these different things. And then I wrote it down like as soon as I woke up as well, because I was kind of still like putting things together. Right. So write down your dreams, as much details in it as possible, from who it's in it, to symbols, to signs, to smell, to feelings, to everything. Like keep a track of that, because your soul very well could be showing you different things that are coming up for you. It could be your fears, it could be lots of things. And also pay attention to your health. Mercury retrograde, like I book like health appointments during that. If it's for my animals, let's say, or if it's for myself, it's like, something doesn't feel right here, book that appointment. Right? Or maybe I should get a checkup, or maybe like whatever it is. But especially if you're like, I don't know about this, I just want to get it checked out. This is a perfect time to do that. Like perfect time to do that. So, it's just taking advantage of the energies. Like I always work with the energies. Like that's exactly why I do these videos. Jeni, how do you manifest this? How can you make this and happen? Because I work with the energy. Sometimes I just book something and sometimes things just align up with the day. And then I'm like, oh, like what I'm planning on doing on the 7th, we'll see, right? And I'm like, wow, like that would be a really good day, actually. So, just it's interesting how things are coming together. So now on the 4th of July, we're entering, Venus with Gemini. Venus is about relationships in general and yourself too. So you could find that there's more social gatherings, which of course would make sense for July the 4th, reunions, family, friends, celebrating, all of that, being more chatty. You're going to find that your heart is going to open up even more so with this Venus energy. I always tell people, be honest or speak your truth. Why would you not want to talk from your heart, right? Listen to your heart, not your ego. The truth shall set you free, for goodness sakes. Why would you be somebody or not? So you're going to find also that there could be changes in relationships. Relationships could be with anybody you're involved with in any way, love, romance, business, friendship, business. It could be anything, you know. So really pay attention to that. You're going to find that you're going to be a lot more open to new things as well. There's a lot of different new opportunities that are going to be presented to you, this month, especially. So pay attention to little things that are coming up, social offerings, social invites and stuff. What you'd normally say no to, be a little bit more open to that, right? I'm just saying. So you're going to still be healing a little bit. There could be some, like more memory sneaking up when you meet certain friends or family. You could be discussing, people who have passed on, like different memories, the good and the bad and the ugly, as I call it. That's life. We all on this journey. Really pay attention to your creative side. What are you passionate about? You could be like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint my wall, or like, anything creative. Really pay attention to, because certain things that you work on that's creative can really open up new doors for you in a lot of different ways, right? So just really embrace that. Really embrace that. So as we move into July 6th and 7th, we have that huge vibrational frequency of that portal on July 7th. It's very high vibrational. You very well will be more intuitive, getting a lot more spiritual insights and downloads, more perspectives, like in a new way. It's almost like a new chapter, new beginning that's opening up for you. Like if my thing happens for me on the 7th, it is definitely a new chapter and a new beginning for me with something, which I'll share with you later. You're going to want to express your truth more from your heart. You're going to see your self-worth more. And you very well could be feeling a little bit more vulnerable too. Because sometimes as we open up new doors and new beginnings and new chapters, we can get a little bit more emotional, because keep in mind, we're still healing old past wounds. So as those memories are coming up, it could spark you and trigger you. Even my dream actually that I had last night, it makes sense for the 7th too, by the way, right? And it's all about expect the unexpected, right? Either or, it could be either or, good or bad, but just really be slow down. And this is a time too when you're going to be building on the more soul connections. You very well could be meeting new people and feel, wow, I really feel a connection with that person. No wonder I was drawn to this person, or this or this or that. A whole new soul family, soul vibe can open up for you. It's really a huge day to manifest as well, right? It really is. Really listen to your heart, the calling of your heart. Like what I'm going to be doing is all based in my heart, is in my heart, as it always is. But when you're staying true to you and listening to your heart, that's all that matters, you know? So as we come into the 8th and the 9th, you could be feeling a little tired, like from the events from, this week, like especially if you are July 4th celebrations and everything like that, reunions and everything. So it's a time where you might want to like kind of take a little bit more time out, just kind of rest. You're open to more changes as well from, what was or what you want to happen and create, and new doors to open. So you're going to find that you're going to want to be distancing away from negativity, you know, drama. Yeah, people that just don't support you in a positive, certain things that you're like, oh, I just can't watch the news anymore, let's say, or I can't be around this person anymore because they're so negative. They're really dragging me down. It very well could trigger you. So you're going to be letting go of certain toxic habits or behaviors, toxicity from others. So you're going to be like, you know what, I just need to set a little bit of boundaries here. I just, you know what, I'm seeing a lot more reality with things and everything. And I just need to distance away from certain people and situations right now. Maybe you're at a toxic job or relationship as well. That Venus, you know what I mean? As I said, it triggers you to see the good and the bad and the ugly. So you're going to be taking a lot more accountability this day as well for certain decisions you've made, and just really letting go of certain things that you just no longer connect with and resonate with. Like even when I was away on my assignments and everything like that, I saw a lot more clarity, and it really brought to the surface um, certain parts of myself that I've missed. Like, it just really like, wow, like I really feel like me even more so with where I am and what I'm doing and just being away from certain people and situations and environments and all kinds of things. So it's just really pay attention to your insights even more and more and more. This is a time, a year, as I've been talking about, to make long-term goals, long-term things, like write down the pros and the cons, especially when it's major decisions. There's a decision, another big decision I've been making for a while, and things are coming together more in synchronicity right now for me, actually. So it's if you take a look back on your vision boards, if you've been writing that, I've been crossing things off. Yeah, done that, that's happened, and so on and so on. And wow, isn't this interesting how this is happening now? Because that's actually the direction I am wanting to move into, but I'm not pushing things, I'm not forcing things, taking things one day at a time. Because what you are working on a day-to-day basis does determine your future and the direction you're going, right? So it's like just really paying attention to everything. And does this resonate with me? Like I've let a lot of different things go and people go and a lot of things like that, like I see a lot of truth and I observe a lot and I don't say a lot. I don't say much at all. I hear a lot of things going on with, I can read minds and everything and I just observe. I don't, I hold it to myself and okay. So I make different decisions or sorry, I'm not available or just different things, right? So you have to go by what resonates with you. This is really important because this Capricorn full moon, by the way, that's on the July 10th and 11th. This is when you're going to want to feel more grounded. This is when you're going to want to bring things into focus more, ground things more into reality. It's not a day for surgeries. This is a day where you're going to be reviewing your responsibilities and decisions and choices that you made. This is a time when you're going to want to start executing things and making things happen. This is also a time for ending contracts, even soul contracts with people, friends, family, business, like whoever it is. When we end certain situations, new doors open, new things open. I mean, when I was away, I met a lot of new people, like just going on a walk and a lot of different things. Right? So you're going to be finding that, this doesn't work for me anymore. Like no matter what it is in your life, no, it's just not working. You're going to really see who you're not connecting with at all. Like, you're not saying that, what, I never want to see you again or talk to you again. No, we're just on two different paths right now. We don't resonate with each other, all of those different things. And it can bring a lot of sadness and things, you know, but that's life, and another time, it could very well be like you hear from that person again, let's say, or you guys are more on the same path, or it's nice to catch up. Like Mercury retrograde, it does bring people back from our past and so on and so on. Right? So you're going to find that the full moon, it's time to catch up with things. It's more of a positive full moon. It really is. Maybe there's like book work you need to catch up with, or wow, I need to clean my home, or I need to catch up with my gardening, or, like whatever it is, right? Capricorns are more work focused and things like that. So you're going to be putting things more together, more in perspective. You know what? I need to really focus on this right now and so on. Really pay attention to where you're getting pulled. It very well can be emotional too. Full moons are emotional. So, you will get triggered in different way. You're going to be still letting go of things, reflecting back on things, but you very well will be more sensitive to noises, especially if it's, like, I love music. I chant every day and so on. And some days I'm like, I just need to be in quiet and silence, no music in the background. I don't watch television too much. I do watch movies and stuff and that, but I'm more quiet and listening to music and so on. So you might find even a little sound of a music or something like, the building I'm in, they're doing a lot of construction, and I'm like, oh my God, really? Oh, right. But what can you do about it? I mean, I'd rather somebody do construction and take care of things that need to be fixed than, oh my God, the building's falling apart type thing, or, like whatever, right? So just be a little bit more in awareness, because this Mercury retrograde, as I mentioned, people from the past coming back. It doesn't mean you have to agree. People from the past very well could be coming back and say, you know what, I'm really sorry for my actions or whatever. I want to make things work with you. I would be open to apologies, of course, and forgiveness. However, it doesn't mean that you're inviting them back in your life again, right? I have a big heart. I do forgive people, but it doesn't mean no, we're going to be hanging out or connecting away like we used to again. No, no, just under certain circumstances or whatever, right? Exes are coming back during Mercury retrograde. Make sure you pay attention to what lessons you learned before. This is also soulmate, fated connections this month, like, soulmates, twin flames, fated meetings, destined meetings, and that could be business. Maybe that job opened up for you. Maybe this opportunity opened up for you. Maybe you just met your destined person. Soul tribes, meeting new soul tribes that you're really connecting with. You could be feeling a little bit more restless too. And don't push as I'm saying. This is a time where you want to review certain contracts, of course, that you're signing. Really pay attention to what you sign. Like if you're like, I don't know what this means or whatever, get somebody to help you. If it's an attorney or somebody, what am I signing? If it's like renewing things, that's okay, right? You might find there's going to be a little bit more glitches with technical electronics, internet, all that kind of stuff, which is the worst thing. And it's really important to focus on your health, as I said, like really focus on your health even more so. So you could be finding kind of memory loss a little bit at times, brain fog, as I call it. And that's been going on for a little while. When we have these solar storms, it can be like, oh my God, I walked into the living room. What was I like? What did I need from here? Like, why was I coming? It's like sometimes I'll drive and I'm like, hey, where am I going? Like, am I going shopping? Am I what am I doing? So this solar flares and stuff like that, solar energy, it can make that happen. Little vertigo, a little dizziness and stuff like that. So that's why I drink a lot more water, slow down, pay attention to your animals as well. This can be a more sensual month, as I said, like even before in other videos and so on and so on. Just be very more mindful. Please be more careful on travel this month, especially. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening because of our so-called leadership and their karmic ramifications. We're not going to talk about that. Don't even get me going on that. They kicked me right off the channel. But anyways, so I'm just going to pull a couple of cards to see what the collective. I don't use cards when I do readings because I'm a clairvoyant psychic medium. So I read into your consciousness and tell you my insights, what I see. I do past life Akashic records reading. I'm an animal communicator and so on and so on and so on, right? So there's a lot of different things I bring to the surface for you. These cards, no, these are collective. So of course, not all of you are going to resonate with this, but if you do, it's for you. I mean, how about you guys like my channel? Even share it, make some comments, let me know what you're doing. So because this is water focused and such like that, I communicate with the animals underwater. I call even the sea animals, I just call them all animals. Like even if it's an alligator, even if it's a dog, even if it's a giraffe, I call them all animals. So we're going to talk to Angela Hartfeld's deck, Whispers of the Ocean. Let's have a little chat. What's the message from our animal kingdom from the 4th to the 11th? Animal instinct. With that sensuality, by the way. Might see that in your partner. A little more stamina, I'm just saying. July 4th to the 11th. What's the message from our animal kingdom? SeaWorld. The message from our animal kingdom. Message from our animal kingdom. Alrighty then. Replacing what was lost. Yes. This week's energy too, as I said, new chapters are opening. You're going to be reflecting back to the past. There could be some fear with new beginnings, right? You now have the opportunity to rejuvenate and start anew. Like, wow, I don't make this stuff up. The cards just fall, right? Thank you, Spirit. Create with a new perspective or outlook. What did I just say? This card may also indicate abundance is on the horizon. Like this is a time to manifest, like full moons, like write your intentions down, be very specific and detailed with what you want. Expect the unexpected, like abundance coming in. Maybe some of you guys are going to get a raise or a promotion or win the lottery. Or your business is going to get really busy and new clients and so on and so on. Like abundance can come in many ways. It really can. I'm open to receive abundance and prosperity that is best for my higher self and highest, purpose, right? I am open to receive. If you're the one that's always giving, 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 you're blocking to receive. I learned that the hard way. I'd always be giving, 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 giving. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, because you're the one giving all the time. So you're blocking the receiving. So once I started setting boundaries, open to receive, things started to flow because there's no blockages. So there's a balancing give and receive with everything. Everything. Even when I did free readings here on YouTube and stuff, I still get people sending me messages. Oh, I missed the free reading. What do you see with this, and that? I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. So I just stopped doing it. Like people can take you for granted and stuff like that. So yeah, you have to look at reality with certain things and balance the give and receive in many different ways. So let's talk about the romance. How I'm talking about soulmate, twin flames reunions, fated connections as well. We're going to talk to Doreen Virtue's deck, the romance angels. Soulmates can be friends. Soulmates are not always romantic. Like, you know what I mean? Soulmates can be a pet, a friend, a family member. You know what I mean? So you could be getting a new pet this month, for instance, right? You could meet like, soul tribes, new soul family and such like that too. You know what I mean? So make sure you're open. What's the message from the 4th to the 11th of July? 4th to the 7th of July from our romance department? Oh, what falls down? What falls down? Soulmate. Yes, this is oh my gosh, this is your soulmate. Can you believe this? But just keep in mind, as I said, soulmates are not always romantic, right? But maybe you will meet your true mate, your soulmate this month. So how do I attract my soulmate? Okay, so as I've always said, make sure we can attract anybody to us and then we go like, oh my God, that was the worst. What qualities are you guys looking for? This is so important, like so important. Attraction and chemistry, is wonderful, but it's not going to hold a relationship together. What qualities? Are you guys on the same page with what you want? Like, what direction do you want to move towards? Is your person wanting the same things? I mean, opposites attract and we can work all kinds of stuff out, but you have to be on that same page with certain values and qualities, right? So this is really, really important. This is why I'm stressing the point. Just don't rush into something. It really takes time to, get to know somebody, like really get to know somebody, That's the journey of the relationship. So let's talk about earth magic here because Capricorn, earth energy. Maybe some of you guys are attracting an earth sign, a Capricorn, right? Earth magic, Stephen Farmer. What is the message from the 4th to the 11th? Wow, this fell out. vulnerability. I'm going to pull another card, but this really fell out. So you know how I said that there could be a lot more vulnerability. You could be feeling a little bit more vulnerable, as well this week as you're opening new doors, new chapters on the 6th and the 7th. We can have that kind of emotional fear of, oh my God, like, is this going to happen again? Maybe you're starting a new relationship, let's say on the 7th, or you met somebody on the 7th, and you're like, oh my God, I went through such a horrible time with my ex, and I'm just too scared to jump into a relationship right now. So when you enter a new relationship, it's really, really important to have healed from your past relationship. Look at what worked, what didn't work, take time to heal and work through that. Because if you don't heal and have worked through your past relationship, all of that unhealed energy of emotional baggage is coming forth on your new relationship, which is not going to work, because the minute your new person says something, you could easily get triggered and say, screw you, you're just like my ex, when it might not be that whatsoever. So, this is miscommunications as well, too, with, like pre-shadow. So, and also make sure when you're sending messages to double check who you've sent it to, what you've said, look in your sent folder, right? Make sure you send it to the right person. And if you're expecting messages, check your junk and spam folder too. I didn't get the message from you. Messages go haywire. I once was sending a message to somebody and I'm like, and then I looked in my sent folder. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't. So I had to reach out to the person, ignore my email. That wasn't for you, this, right? So just be a little bit more in awareness, careful. So what's the message from our Earth energies right now, from the 4th to the 11th? Make sure you guys put your crystals outside as well to rejuvenate, get refresh energy, or put them by the window so the energy of the full moon can come in, right? I just happened to get really lucky that time, right? I actually took the night off. I didn't want to work. Actually, no, I was working the night of the full moon last month. So yeah, I was, yeah. So I did actually take that later because I just wanted to be by the water. I was right on waterfront property. Oh, look at this card that fell out. Love and compassion. Oh my God, look at that. Like, no coincidence, guys. Make sure that you love yourself first. When you love yourself unconditionally, you will attract somebody that loves you unconditionally. Show yourself compassion, and of course, show others compassion. We're all going through situations. We've all been through hell. Considering how much these so-called leaders have changed the world, so much is going to happen between now and 2030. I might talk about that a little different at a different time. So much is going to happen. It's going to, all I'm going to say really right now, it's going to bring humanity together. Normally when certain things happen that these so-called leaders create, we show more compassion to other people for what has happened. Always listen to your heart and show kindness. Really important. So if you all want to book a reading with me, go to soulworkwithjeni.com. Subscribe to my channel. Let other people know about my channel. Please click like on the video. It really helps build my channel. It's taking forever to build, but I can't do a lot of videos per day. My clients are my priority, and so on and so on. So, let me know what's going on with you guys. What are you guys doing? How is this energy affecting you? What changes are you making? Did you meet your soulmate, and so on? You want to get clarity, book a reading with me. Until next time, love and light. Namaste.